Hello, back to episode number 456 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be ECW for week 2 of December 2023, and we are on the road towards the ECW Holiday Hell pay-per-view event, which will be next weekend. And yeah, tonight we've got a match, which is Andrade and a partner of his choosing, if he can find one, against the Grand Jury, King Kobain and Emerson Frost. We also have Bobby Lashley and Bobby Roode, the Clash of the Bobbies, ahead of the Tag Team Championship match between the Fritz Brothers and the Hurt Business at Holiday Hell. Without any more further ado, though, let's jump straight into tonight's show. The show opens up with Paul Heyman in the ring. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, is not here this evening." Now, you see, last week, my tribal chief, your tribal chief, the tribal chief, made his presence felt at the end of ECW in that championship match between Dolph Ziggler and our beloved current ECW World Champion, Warden. Now, that match last week, that was Dolph Ziggler's rematch for his ECW championship that he's been so old since he lost the championship back at Survivor Series, and I am a good general manager, and I understand that running Warden and Dolph Ziggler for the ECW championship on television, that's ratings. But here lies the issue. Dolph Ziggler is not the only man who needs another shot one-on-one for the ECW championship. You may have forgotten, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, was not defeated fair and square by Dolph Ziggler back at High Voltage, nor was Roman Reigns pinned back at Survivor Series when Warden captured the championship from Dolph Ziggler. Roman Reigns, on both of those occasions, was screwed over by his jealous cousins who no longer work for ECW. So now, I bring out our ECW World Champion. Please, ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet and rise for Warden. Out he comes. And he goes, "Paul, what's this? What's going on here, And he goes, "Warden, sir, you are indeed a dominant ECW champion. Your reign very much could last for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Hell, in another timeline, I have loved to be your advocate. But you see, Warden, that timeline isn't this timeline, because this timeline, your championship reign is going to last 28 days. Because at Holiday Hell, Warden, the ECW champion, you will put your championship on the line one-on-one in singles action. No Dolph Ziggler, no Usos. Simply a rematch from SummerSlam between yourself and your tribal chief, Roman Reigns." Warden just laughs. He goes, "Paul, I know you came out here with this big diatribe. You wanted to, get in my head. But I thank you. Because ever since SummerSlam, I've been chomping at the bit to get my hands on Roman Reigns once again. And now, you've just handed him straight to me. Now, I know he's not here tonight. He's not exactly, in keen spirits to come and be face-to-face with me after what he did last week. Some would call him a coward. But at Holiday Hell, there'll be no running, and it will make it hell for the tribal chief when I put him down. The very last show of 2023, I put him down." So yeah, Warden and Roman Reigns one-on-one, Holiday Hell, ECW Championship. No Ziggler, he got taken out last week. No Usos, they've been fired from ECW. just Warden and Roman Reigns, a one-on-one SummerSlam rematch at Holiday Hell next weekend. 79. Yeah, they're both kind of old, so I sort of like didn't set this out to be like, oh, this is going to be an epic banger. It's like, it's a standard Bobby Lashley, Bobby Roode match. It's nothing special, if not absolutely solidly worked. But yeah, Bobby Lashley comes out on top. He keeps the right to the Bobby name. And that's not an actual stipulation. I'm not actually going to take Bobby off Roode. It's just, because they're both called Bobby. He defeats Bobby Roode in 11:55 with a spear. 74 for Lashley. 75 for Roode. And Roode was off his game. So, maybe I'm looking at the wrong Bobby to get behind. But after the match, I don't know if you've noticed, but there are only two, if you don't count MVP, there are only two current healthy members of the Hurt Business, because Ronnie Hughes is still out for like a couple more weeks. And there are 4 members of the Paragon. 5, but JC Jane's not out there. So, obviously a beatdown ensues. Adam Cole, Baby, and the Fritz brothers jump into the ring. They jump Bobby Lashley. And, while he is Bobby Lashley, there are 3 men. So they take him down. Damon Kemp tries to get in. The Fritz brothers go after him. Bobby Roode's back up at this point. He holds Lashley in place. He hits the last shot. And he gives it a boom and all that. But yes, it will be the Fritzes against... Lashley will have to step in for Ronnie Hughes at Holiday Hell. But yeah, it will be the Fritz brothers and Damon Kemp and Lashley at Holiday Hell. But then it would then be announced that next week on ECW, Adam Cole and Bobby Lashley will go one-on-one. And then all of a sudden, Adam Cole's mood changes. Because, oh fuck. They get a sit-down interview. Nigel McGuinness sits between Julia and Cora. That's the title match for the pay-per-view. Nigel goes, Cora, when you came out here, you had a lot of strong words for our champion. What makes you think that at the young age of 22, you have what it takes to take her championship and carry ECW? She goes, Nigel, I breathe everything that ECW is. Cora Jade also is, okay? I'm the punky, grimy alternative. I'm the young, opportunistic star that would thrive in a place like this. Okay, and Julia, I take no credit away from her. She's a great champion. Well-traveled veteran. Not even 30 years old and already won championships in Japan and in America. And has cemented herself among the best. But here's what's going on, okay? My old running mates are having a bit of an identity crisis right now. You got one of them over on Raw, trying to rekindle an 8-year-old friendship because she realized she threw all her actual friends out down the toilet. And another one who's kissing up to the other women's champion. Because she realized she was a failure by herself. I'm not a failure by myself. I'm a star. I was the real star all along. And Julia, you may have been, in the back pocket of EO and Queendom over on SmackDown, but you realized that you ran away from me because you were scared of me, and now at the pay-per-view, I'm going to give you a reason for that. And Julia just stands up. She goes, Cora, you have a lot of potential, but still, so much to learn. And she just walks off. 80 rated match. I wouldn't have announced this. The entire purpose of this was for it to be like a surprise. But the women's tag team champions show up here on ECW. It's not a title match. They just have a match against the Birds of Prey, and it is the tag team champs Sarray and Zelina who win. Zelina pins Lyra with a moonsault in 12:27. Match gets an 80, which is pretty fucking good. 63 for Killer Kelly, 76 for Lyra, 75 for Zelina Vega, and a 68 for Sarray. So yeah, the women's tag team champions are here. Why are they here? I guess we'll have to find out later. Before that, though, the entire Paragon regroups, including JC Jane. She's there, She's got a chance to, rub salt in the wounds. She's actually in action later on against Shotzi. But then, in the hallway, they bump into ZSJ and the Grizzled Young Vets, Tekkers. And he goes, bet you think you're Billy Big Bollocks now, don't you, Adam? You think all of a sudden because you managed to, ambush a weakened group, that you think you're the top dogs here on ECW? Cole goes, well, we left the Hurt Business laying, so when we win those tag team championships next weekend, we're pretty much all going to be the most dominant group here at ECW. And Zack Sabre Jr. goes, well, that's funny, that's why I'm coming to you, because, are you a bit off, mate, because I have a champion. I am the ECW television champion. I will remain it after I beat Body Bloody Murphy at Holiday Hell. But your boys here, these Fritz brothers, who are clinging on to their family legacy to try and get themselves title shots, aren't the real greatest tag team here on ECW. That will go to Rip and Jagger. That goes to the grizzled young veterans. And goes, whoa, well, my boys haven't wrestled tonight. Your boys aren't wrestling tonight. Why don't your boys put the money where their grimy little mouths are and challenge the Fritz brothers into tag team action tonight? And then Rip and Jagger step forward. He goes, it would be my pleasure, to put an end to this silly little family dream. Just over a week away from their nepotism championship opportunity, because the real greatest tag team here on ECW is the grizzled young veterans. So yeah, tag match, GYV, Fritz Brothers, tonight. Should be a banger. Adam Cole, the only member of Paragon not in action tonight, and he's in action next week. So, yeah. We then get a backstage interview. Mackenzie is sort of concerned before she starts speaking. She goes, my guest at this time is Ruby Riott. And then Ruby runs in, she just hugs Mackenzie. He goes, Mackenzie, hey! She goes, hi. She goes, I've been so excited for this all day, It's always great whenever I get the chance to come here and speak to you, because it gives me a chance to, tell my story to the world and get what's off my chest, and just really, bring the positivity and the vibes here to ECW, a show that really, really needs positivity and vibes, Mackenzie. What questions have you got for me? And she goes, well, actually, it's about last week. And she goes, oh, it was great, right, I saw, that idiot Demoff running around there dancing, and I thought, I can do that. And I've never been better, Mackenzie. I've never felt more happy with myself, because now I'm free to run wild and let my hair down and, go out there and just have a grand old jolly time out there with my people. And she's got this shit-eating grin on her face as she says that. And Mackenzie goes, well, that's not really what I saw last week. And Ruby goes, how do you mean? I was wearing bright colours. What, do I need to go brighter? Okay, do I need to get fancier clothes, a more flashy moveset? What is it? She goes, no, it's, when you went out there and you faced him off and you beat her, it was... Ruby, are you okay? Just, like I said, I'm great. I've never been better, in fact. Now, are we all good, Mackenzie, or are you going to start, asking questions you really don't want to ask? She goes, no, I think we're good. She goes, great. I can't wait. If I'm not in action next week, I'll come and see you again next week, but hopefully I'll be back out there in front of the ECW universe doing my thing as they all chant, Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. And she walks off, just keeps chanting Ruby, Ruby. 86. Hell yeah, brother. It's 17 minutes and 27. This is a lengthy match. The Fritz brothers do pick up the win. David Fritz pins Jagger Reed in 17:27. 80 for Kevin Fritz. 78 for David Fritz. 72 for Rip Fowler. And a 70 for Jagger Reed. That's surprising that the GYV didn't get higher rated than the Fritz brothers. But whatever. It means I've made the right decision on which team to challenge for the titles at the pay-per-view. But yeah, Fritz brothers proving they do deserve a title shot, and will they win the title? Because Lashley, he's been weakened tonight. He's got Adam Cole next week, so he could be a tough week for the Almighty. Then see Mackenzie with Andrade, Cien Almas. She says, Andrade, tonight's main event, it's you and a friend against the grand juries, Ken Kobain and Everson Frost, have you found any partners? Andrade goes, Mackenzie, I have no one on ECW who is friend. So I had to hit up an old friend. And that's when Zelina and Saray walk into frame. And she goes, I'll take it from here, Kens. It's like, I may be, doing my thing, over on Raw, but when Andrade Cien Almas needs my help, he knows the right girl to call. So, obviously, Andrade left all his business up to me. And I'll just keep it simple and say, Andrade, he has a partner tonight. And now, thanks for inviting the champs to ECW, because we've got to be, or I'll get our asses over to SmackDown on Friday, because we've got some people over there we need to slap. Good luck tonight, Andrade. And then they sort of high five or bump fists or whatever and walk off. Then Kyle O'Reilly chilling backstage, and Roddy, Kyle. And he goes, what? And he goes, come on, man. Last week against Adam, I thought you had him. But you came up short, Kyle, and I had faith in you. You've let me down. And he goes, no, Roddy, you let me down, okay? Because if you didn't come out there, I'd have got that win back against Adam Cole. Okay. And now I don't, because it's you, and now Holiday Hell's coming up, and we've got a match to prepare for. And Roddy goes, wait, we're on the pay-per-view? And he goes, we sure are. He goes, great. Who are we facing? And Carl goes, Roddy, we're not facing anybody. You're facing me. Roddy goes, Kyle, why would you do that, okay? You're my best friend. I don't want to fight my best friend. Kyle goes, because, Roddy, I really need to see if you're still worth my time, because I could be doing so much better. And he walks off, and he goes, hey, Kyle. 76. I'll take that. That's actually pretty good. JC Jane does pick up the win over Shotzi, obviously angry at her for being one of the two women who was there to announce House of Horrors last week. And yeah, JC does win, 9:32. She gets a 59, a 72 for Shotzi. And then after the match, she jumps Shotzi, tries to attack her. Scarlett gets in. JC also fights her off. Then Gigi comes out, some kind of weapon. JC runs away, all that shit. That angle. And yeah, House of Horrors is back. And I realise now that I'm going to have 2 cinematic matches at the pay-per-view. No, wait, no, I'm not, because I was thinking of the Tiffany Stratton match, but that's on Armageddon. That's on a different pay-per-view. So, yeah. House of Horrors back. House of Horrors and Matt Cardona versus Sabu on the same pay-per-view. Tell me that this isn't, the greatest pay-per-view of all time. Then get a quick backstage segment with Liv for Battle. Liv, she's fighting Jade for the Liberty title at Holiday Hell after she beat Sonya last week to win the shot. And it's just her and Shida, pep talk. They've been talking, for weeks, we got to get back on track. Liv came up short against Julia, so did Shida, and they failed to win the tag title, so, this is really their last shot if they want to get a championship anytime soon. And Liv, she's got to go for it. Next week, though, is the go-home show for Holiday Hell. And I guess technically the Christmas episode, but ECW probably wouldn't do that. So, but we do know a couple of big things said, and that is that the Tribal Chief will be back in the building. And he and Warden are set to go face-to-face ahead of their championship match at Holiday Hell. Plus, Buddy Murphy, the number one contender for the television championship, is going to go one-on-one with Rip Fowler of Techers ahead of his match with ZSJ for the TV title at Holiday Hell. Plus, we heard earlier on tonight, Bobby Lashley and Adam Cole, baby, one-on-one next week. And just announced, it will be Gigi Dolan teaming up with Shotzi Blackheart and Scarlett to take on JC Jane and 2 partners, if she can find any, for next week's episode of ECW. But then moving on from that, we have more matches set for the pay-per-view taking place next Saturday, the first being the ECW Championship match, as the champion Warden puts his title on the line against the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, mano a mano in singles action. Plus, Kyle O'Reilly has finally had enough of Roderick Strong's antics, and those two, Kyle O'Reilly the God and Roderick Strong, are set to go one-on-one at Holiday Hell. 83 rated main event probably could have been better, but I kind of liked this being the main event, because I like finishing ECW with a match. But of course, who else did Zelina Vega find to be Andrade's partner? We're pulling this back I've got 3 years worth of challenge run lore to go back on at this point. So, Zelina Vega will of course pull out a fellow member of the Vega Mafia, that being Angel Garza. Garza, I loved his MILF gimmick and all of that, but it really fell off once I had to get rid of JoJo. I sort of lost all its steam. I didn't know what to do. He's been on ECW ever since I did the brand split. I just haven't used him because I've been waiting for a good moment to bring him back. But here he is. He's more serious, I guess. He's still got that Achilles heel, that kryptonite of liking MILFs. So that will still distract him should they ever come up. But he is a more serious competitor. He's here with Andrade, and we're sort of running back the Vega Mafia, I guess. And it is Andrade and Angel Garza pick up the win. Andrade pins Ken Kobain with a hammerlock DDT. 83 for Garza, 72 for... Yeah, there we go. So I should have brought him back sooner. He gets an 83, Andrade gets a 72, a 79 for Emerson, and a 67 for Ken. And that ends ECW, which gets an 88 rated show, which is a fine show if I do say so myself. What matters more, though, is what you thought of the show, so let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for SmackDown, which is the go-home show for Armageddon, and will be headlined by a women's tag team championship match as Zelina Vega and Saray defend against Queendom's Io Sky and Dakota Kai. See you then.